Welcome to Inside the Newsroom. I'm Gyllenhaal, the Herald's executive editor, and the topic today is our cartoonist, Jim Morin, who spends his days leaning over his artist table sketching these magnificent political cartoons on targets ranging from the governor's office to the White House. And then he goes home and spends a part of almost every night sitting at his computer spinning out a very different kind of creation. And that's a full-fledged animation, the latest of which is now posted on MiamiHerald.com at this address. You might want to switch over there right now and watch this, because it's that good. It's also interesting to hear Jim talk about how he's found his way to this whole new element. He sounds more like an excited teenager than one of the nation's most talented and honored cartoonists. He won the Pulitzer Prize for cartooning a few years ago, and his work appears in newspapers and magazines all over the world. As he puts it, "I love taking on something new. There's just so much to learn." In a way, every part of the Herald Newsroom is facing a version of the same challenge as we move into live streaming and online updates, video columns, and mobile news. But none of us face quite the same hurdles as mastering animation. Although both begin with a simple sketch, cartooning and animation go in very different directions. A single animation requires literally hundreds of separate drawings, about 12 pictures for every second that goes by. And then they're spliced together with music and voice, and that requires learning a whole succession of different computer programs. Quote, "Animation has a much more complicated plot, and visually it's far more complicated," he says. So Jim has found himself staying up until early in the morning and creating hundreds of cartoons, scanning them into digital form, and reading about animation and listening to what some of the masters have to say about it. Quote, he says, "I haven't been getting much sleep." His first animation project took a whimsical look at Florida's weather, and he wants to share only the beginning of his latest version, which draws on his love of science fiction, and that goes back to when he was a kid. Quote, "What you see is a flying saucer coming down, and this alien steps out and he says, 'Take me to your leader,'" says Jim. And then he stops himself because he says, "That's all I want to say. You'll have to see it." So take a look, and if you like, send Jim a message with your thoughts and maybe a fresh idea for his next animation. Once again, thank you for your letters, phone calls, and emails. We appreciate your reading the Miami Herald and spending time on MiamiHerald.com.